to Polk County. Let me tell you what, they bring the heat. There's a lot of people there. They spent money. Great stuff, you know, for CCA Florida.
And Grady Judd goes. Mike just told me before the show that Grady Judd opens the show, opens the Polk County CCA banquet. Yeah, you should have led with that. Like that should be in the promo material.
So several years ago, Beth and I were at the captain's table out there, and the way it works is all the tables kind of throw some cash into envelopes and put the envelopes in a hat. Somebody pulls an envelope, and if it's your table number, you get to move up front and sit with Beth and I, and which really isn't the bonus. The bonus is the lobster.
The lobster.
Yeah, you get lobster tail and steak and lobster instead of just steak. So anyway, a couple of years ago, this group wins. Great people there, you know, and Grady's there. It's probably the first time I saw Grady at the event, and I was like, man, I want him to be president. You'd have thought I kicked their dog. Like the whole table turned on me and went, no, we do not want him to be president. We want him to be our sheriff, period. Like no discussion. No. We do not want him to be president. He can stay right here and run Polk County. Seriously, dude, I was like, okay, hey, never mind. I won't. You know, they were like, don't you get on the radio show and Grady Judd for president. Don't you give him any thoughts. We want him to stay. I mean, dude is a freaking icon out there, dude. Like he walks around. I believe it. He walks around like the Pope. He does.
Can you wait until he gets really old and he gets even funnier?
I can't imagine him getting funnier.
Dude, he's
what were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, and I've been around several sheriffs. Chris Nacco out in Pasco County, who is also a great guy.
Yeah,
doesn't quite get as animated as Grady, but has a very same philosophical edge to him, which I happen to really enjoy.
No,
it would be weird, right? But yeah, so Grady's just, I mean, you're in the presence of greatness when you're out there in Polk County and Grady Judd walks in. So we got that stuff. Talk about you. We're on the road this week, and you said, things got a little crazy with the peeps.
Yeah, we were at the Gulf Council meeting this whole last week in Orange Beach, Alabama, and it's the federal fisheries, so nothing moves very quickly. But we did get some kind of groundbreaking news, and what I thought would be moving much slower is actually moving a lot quicker in the form of gag grouper. They're positioning to make an interim rule, which is something that goes outside of the council process in the Southeast Regional Office, or better known as CERO, the regional administrator, who was Dr. Crabtree, now is Andy Strelchek. He has the ability and authority to do these emergency or interim rules. And basically, with the stroke of a pen, is he can enact these rules in fisheries that meet certain criteria. So because of the recent gag stock assessment, that has so many people concerned about the male to female gag ratio and just the overall health of the stock due to these recent red tide events. They're talking about doing an interim rule for 2023, which would enact a much lower catch level, the catch level that's being recommended from the stock assessment. So I'm talking like 700,000 pounds, 600,000 pounds and that's total. That's the ACL. So for the whole stock. So that would be then split commercial, recreational. So we're talking like, I think the estimate was anywhere from 333,000 pounds to like 370,000 pounds for recreational total. So some of the season projections coming out of that interim rule.
Like it's going to be open for a day?
It's going to be measured. It'll be
24 hours.
It'll be measured in days, not months.
Wow.
Yeah, October 1st opening, the projection was 50-day season. November 1st opening, the projection was 24-day season. So we're looking at a serious cut in 2023. And then that interim rule gives them 366 days. So that'll be in place all of 2023. And that gives them time to work on the plan amendment, which takes a lot longer. That goes through the council process. That's where we'll have our fingers all over that plan, trying to massage it to really meet what our area needs and wants. And in my opinion, this is a question for you listeners. In my opinion, and from what I've talked to other charter captains and other private recreational anglers about, is we need the longest possible season as late as possible in the year. Outside of red snapper season, something like October, November, December, hopefully all 3 of those months. But in my opinion, that's when it should open.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want, yes.
I mean, they're shallower water, and they're in shallower, so we're not targeting those males they're worried about. And in shallower, cooler water, there's more dissolved oxygen. Any fish that are discarded, less chance of barotrauma because you're fishing shallower with higher dissolved oxygen rates.
So on the grouper side, the males are the bigger ones.
On a gag grouper, yeah, they start life as female and then they transition to male. I believe I got that right.
Interesting.
But they do transition at some point, and there's a very small percentage of males. Normally, what they should be is anywhere from 20 to 30% males. Right now, it's being observed 2 to 6% male.
So what do you and how do you feel after being there and listening to all the information? And,
I don't think gags are as bad off as the stock assessment portrays.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it takes time for the stock assessment to catch up to what we're seeing on the water. In the last 3 years, we've seen a big bump in gags. And off of Crystal River, Homosassa, I mean, they're just everywhere up there. Here in our area, the nearshore gag fishery is not what it was when I was a kid. When I was younger, you can go out there in November, December in 35 foot of water and live pinfish chum those gags to the surface just like you can in Homosassa. But you can't do that anymore. We have a really good gag population in the bay, a really good homestead gag population, especially around the Skyway. There's some guys that can go out there and catch gags all day long.
Yep, true.
We have a really good gag fishery out deep, especially October, November, December. They pour in there around the middle grounds. There's a ton of them out there.
Right.
So I think it's really good deep, and I think it's really good in the bay. There is a problem with that nearshore gag fishery, though.
And what is
but
that?
I don't think
is that caused by the
red tide?
Easy access, red tide.
Red tide could be easy access. Could be. There's a lot more people on the water. I think everybody would agree with that.
No doubt about that.
So there's some concerns there, yes, but I don't think it's as gravely in the drink as the stock assessment might portray.
Interesting.
But we'd love to hear from you and get your opinions.
Well, let's go quick. Let's get a phone call in here quick. We got Capt Mike in Big Pine Key. Let's get him in here quick before we got to go to break. Mike, how are you?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Good early morning. I got up to assess the weather, and it is steady at 20 with gusts to 40 miles an hour here in the Keys, so we will not be going on the water today.
Let me assess. Let me help you. Let me help you assess. Go back to bed.
Yeah, it is. Well, I had to get up and let my clients know. They actually booked me today and tomorrow. Tomorrow looks much better down here. I don't know what it looks like for you guys, but it's going to lay at least cut in half where we can get out and do some fishing. So
yeah,
I wouldn't take experienced fishermen out on a day like today. So
it's going to lay down tomorrow here, thankfully, finally.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be rough because it's been blowing so much.
Yeah, exactly. And the water will be dirtied up. But I got my secret spots. So fishing's been great, guys. Sailfish been wonderful. The mahi are starting to show up. We caught yesterday, what was it, about 3 days ago I fished. The wind's just been howling down here. We had 6 mahi. We had a couple nice blackfin tuna in the 21 to 24 pound range. We had a couple wahoos stuck their nose into the situation. Nothing big, but big enough to put in the ice box. And then we finished off with a few sailfish and some yellowtail snappers. So people got their quota of good eats in the box and some good game fish. And the Nomad lures have been doing good. It's just really good right now down here in the Keys. And I wanted to give a big shout out. I saw on Facebook about FWC making another good capture of guys stealing stone crab gear, and they had undersized, oversized claws, female crabs. They got arrested right away. They had so many felony violations.
They had undersized fish too. That was a crazy catch.
Yeah, that's right. There was a sheep's head at least. I saw that. So kudos to FWC. My neighbor who lives out back of me is one of the FWC officers down here in the Lower Keys, and we were talking about it, and I said, "You guys have been making some good, within the state, been making some good newsworthy catches." He says, "Oh yeah." He said, "Down here," he said, "I'm not sure if the fisherman would have caught him if that guy would have even gotten to us. Stealing fishing gear is one thing, but stealing fishing gear down in Monroe County, that's a whole nother ball game."
Yeah, we ought to be able to take care of that without law enforcement.
Surprised they didn't call them.
Yeah, we ought to be able to take care of that without law enforcement, in my opinion. Michael, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you over there. I'm up against the break, buddy.
Sure, no problem. It's 813-434-8086, Captain Michael 47gmail.com, or give Mike Anderson a shout, 1-866-GAME-FISH, and he'll send you my way. Looking forward to traveling up, going to see the kids, but first I'm making a stop by Bartow Ford to listen to the good guy and the funny guy talk about offshore fishing.
Yes, that's April 19th. Thanks, Michael. Good stuff right there for sure. We will be at Bartow Ford. We'll give you information on that and some other things on the other side. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back.
There's a fire burning somewhere, and now we're on our way.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Woke up to evaluate the weather. Windows are shaking in your house.
Damn bad.
Dude, good news is, though, it was supposed to be calming down tomorrow, but then a high pressure settles in. It was supposed to be kind of on and off windy all week, and then we had another badass front scheduled, forecasted for like Friday night, Saturday. It's gone now. Must not make it down here.
Well, it still looks, still going to be a little breezy on Monday.
Oh, it's going to be Monday through Thursday. It's breezy in the morning, and then it calms down.
Yeah.
Because that high pressure. You know your flashlight's on your phone, right?
I did not know that. Thank you.
No problem. Got you. Got your back, dog.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're getting into that time of year where those fronts may or may not make it, you know? That's exactly what it does. It pushes right down into Big Bend, but doesn't make it here. Pushes to Big Bend, but can't make it down, and that's a strong front. Woo. That's like bringing snow, it looks like. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday, snowing in Wisconsin. In what? Almost mid-April? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little late. That's a little late, Sparky.
It just snowed in North Carolina and North Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 days ago. This front that just came through up in Alabama,
It was bad.
North Gulf does not play with these cold fronts, man. They get hammered. It was gusting probably 40.
How is Orange Beach, Alabama?
I love it.
Do you?
It's really cool. That Northern Gulf is awesome. I mean, they have crap beaches, in my opinion. There's some really nice ones, like around east of Destin, like Jensen Beach, Rosemary Beach. There's some beautiful places in there, but it's just not like our area. Yeah. Our area has just so much to offer. And what was interesting in Orange Beach is they have a road like our Gulf Boulevard, 2 lanes going each way. And they're like, oh, man, traffic is so bad. So bad. You can't even get down the beach road. And I'm like driving around. I'm like, this traffic that we're in right now?
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
It is.
And the whole week I was up there, people were complaining about traffic, and it was not bad. It was like an 8 a.m. drive down Gulf Boulevard. It's like, come on down to St. Pete Beach where they tear their roads up in the middle of spring break.
Yeah, right. Leadership is really, really strong down here in Pinellas and Hillsborough County. Them people there, they got it figured out.
No, what they do really cool up there, though, and I give Alabama a lot of credit, the state comes in and claims portions of the beach. So, like, where we stayed was Gulf State Park. So it's a state park right on the beach.
Right.
Like dunes. It's gorgeous. And they hold that land to prevent development along the coast.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Welcome back. 624 here, the iHeart Media Empire, Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Captain D. Hubbs, Dylan Hubbard, myself, Captain Michael Anderson, talking fishing. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Want to put a shout out to our good friends over at Titan Plumbing and Electric. If you are if you want a new gig, maybe you want to learn to become a plumber, you could give them a call too. But if you're currently a plumber and you're not happy with the peeps you're working for, I highly recommend you give them a call over at Titan Plumbing and Electric. They're looking for good, solid people to come work for them. They've got a lot of work, more than they can handle. They got competitive pay and benefits. Super people. I've known Joe and his family for over 20 years now, and they are amazing people. Give them a call, 813-933-8010. I know you hear the commercial. Definitely people you can trust. And if I was a plumber, that's who I'd want to work for, Joe G. So
I don't think you could be a plumber.
No, probably not.
I would hate to see you try to squeeze underneath the sink.
Yeah, that's not really gonna. Also want to put a shout out to our good friends over at Park Place Garage. If you are maybe doing some spring cleaning, looking to get that garage of yours set up like I did mine, then you want to call the pros at Park Place Garage. What are you laughing about?
Just every time I hear one of these, Mahoney comes right into my ear.
Oh yeah,
just resonates with me.
It shouldn't. You want to keep that. You need to graduate away from that because you don't.
He's
want
trying
him.
to infect me, man.
You don't want him in your head.
Yeah, I mean that week of Bartow Ford, we're going to spend 3 days together.
It's a bad thing. Bad thing. ParkPlaceGarage.com is the website. Great people over there. They did a great job on my garage. Don't hire a closet company to come in and do your garage. You know, your jeans and the stuff you put in your garage cabinets don't weigh the same. So don't let them closet clowns do your garage. Get the pros at Park Place Garage. So 3 days with Mahoney, huh? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He tried to wrangle me into that one too.
Oh, into the fishing?
Yeah. And
you should go.
No. I didn't even look at my calendar. I was like, no, I'm booked.
Oh my goodness.
I don't trust the flim flam. When the flim flam starts, it's
I am gonna make sure I don't fall asleep. That's rule number one, apparently.
I don't know about that. For those of you out there listening, you can also check us out on the Real Animals Facebook page and the Hubbard's Facebook page, a couple other Facebook pages as well, but we are streaming the show live right there as well. Always some good banter at the break here. I got to fish Charlotte Harbor Monday.
How was it?
Great weather, a little breezy, but not bad. We're gonna have to talk about this after the break.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Yeah, because
his blood pressure is going up.
No, but it's. I wish that all the people here that were screaming, that are still screaming, that our fishery should be open. We got plenty of fish, man. We got lots of fish, dude. We want to fill our coolers. Yeah, well, I wish you would spend a little time in Charlotte Harbor where they actually kept it closed, and you can catch redfish on every shoreline. Redfish, snook, and trout on every shoreline with artificials because there's so many fish because they left it closed. Seriously. I mean, dude, it's not even close. The fishery's not even close.
There's something to be said about, restricting the amount of pressure that we have.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much pressure here, and then you add the fact that we open everything up like knuckleheads.
Well,
and it's
night and
day.
Think about just discard mortality in general, even inshore. I mean, we talk about discard mortality offshore a lot, where you catch and release a fish. It's out of season, undersized, or hey, you're just doing catch and release because you don't want to fill a cooler.
Right.
There is a certain percentage of those fish that pass away, and especially if you're not an experienced angler, you're dangling that fish vertically, you're holding them by his jaw, you're keeping them out of the water too long,
you don't
grabbing them with dry hands.
Realize you have a fish on for a long period of time and they swallow the hook.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it. So even if the fishery's closed, fish are still out there dying because you're prosecuting the fishery. So
I'm telling you, we'll talk about it here on the other side.
And we got more to talk about from the council meeting too. A lot on amberjack and much, much more. So
hopefully we'll hear from you guys. Your questions, comments, fishing reports, 1-800-969-9352. Whatever you do, do not let this just be a show where you get what's just in our heads. You don't want that.
Save us.
Yes. We'll be back.
For town, he'd be squeezing my knee.
The fishery is in such good shape down there. It's so healthy. It's
Is it still
unbelievable.
closed?
Yeah.
It's still
The only
closed.
thing that's open is trout.
Holy moly. So you can't keep snook or redfish?
Nope.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, dude, there's singles. There's redfish singles on every shoreline. Every shoreline we went down, we caught a redfish.
That's crazy. And Charlotte Harbor has less population.
For sure. And again, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But-
But I'm just saying, if they had the high population
Yeah.
and they still kept it closed, I don't think it would have rebounded as fast. Is what I was talking about. Just the numbers of people that are out there targeting them. I mean, in the summertime heat, you catch a big snook and drag it around the flats for 15 minutes, you know, and then take a 3-minute Instagram photo shoot with it. That fish isn't going to survive.
Well, there's plenty of that going on, for sure.
Yeah. So even with the fishery closed, it's not bouncing back as quick as just no one on the water.
Right.
And that's the problem. And then the other big thing that comes into it for me in fisheries management and science in general is, where do you want it back to? Do you want to build it back to historic levels? And if so, what's a historic level? In the time before the outboard engine? Is it 10 years ago? 5 years ago? Is it 20 years ago? Where do you build it back to? And that's one of the big issues with MSA in general, the Magnuson-Stevens Act, is they demand that you rebuild fisheries, but it doesn't delineate where you rebuild them back to. It's a big question. Especially with like red snapper. I mean, back in the day, there's historical accounts from like the sailing days, back Christopher Columbus days, and they talk about how they'd have these big sailing sloops or whatever they call them out there, and they would like partially sink the vessel and fill it with like 30,000 pounds of red snapper. I mean, like the fishery, like they would just jump in the boat. There were so many of them.
Yeah.
Do we want to rebuild it back to that level? Because were there gag grouper around? Because everybody talks about how red snapper keeps rebounding. They're everywhere. You can't get away from them, and they're pushing down the population of gags and red grouper. Were there gag and red grouper really prolific in the Gulf when those red snapper populations were that high? And that's like the big question.
Yeah.
Where do
Well,
you
I mean,
where do you rebuild the fishery? Where
You
is
get
that
you
happy
get that
medium?
conversation a lot when you talk to like somebody like Rhett Morris, who's been, wade fishing Burnt Store over there in Charlotte Harbor since he was, 6 years old. And he said, redfish were a nuisance. They had so many redfish cruising the flat, they were a nuisance. And again, what does that do? Are they eating a little speckled trout? Are they, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to think about. I don't know.
And that's
You're right.
when you
What's
talk
the-
to a fisheries science or a fisheries manager, like at the bar offline, that's one of their biggest questions. And I feel like they bring it up because they're like asking you, like, what's your opinion?
Right.
It's very interesting. Because, everybody talks about how it was in the 60s. But imagine how it was in the 40s.
The marine biologists, to me, are the ones we should be conversing with more, because
Yep.
I feel like they're the ones. They took a job that doesn't pay well.
Not at all.
Right. They took a job that doesn't pay well because it's what they love to do. It's the Roy Crabtree types that make me nervous, that got their hands on the other side of on the political scene too.
The way
That's the part that
science
gets,
connects to management is, and it's not so much, in my opinion, someone like Roy Crabtree who works for the Southeast Regional Office. To me, it's where the politics enter the fishery
Right.
is at the state level. It's the state directors. Like the council has 17 voting members. And out of those 17 voting members, like for example, in the state of Florida, there's 4 representatives: 1 commercial, 1 recreational, 1 science, and 1 state person. And that state person has to toe the line of what FWC wants. And what FWC wants is ultimately what the state political machine wants. And in other states, it can get really perverted. And like, for example, Alabama and Mississippi right now, a lot of people are saying they're overfishing their red snapper quota. But when they come to the council and do their little presentations, the numbers say they're not overfishing. but then other people are screaming that they're overfishing. Like, according to the presentations at the council meeting, the private recreational sector didn't overfish their ACL. But if you look at the numbers, the adjusted numbers, it was overfished by 1.2 million pounds. And the people up in Alabama are saying they can't catch red snapper close anymore because of the localized depletion. They overfished them. So that's where politics enters fisheries, in my opinion, is at the council level. And it's not so much on the managers like the people who work for the government. They're just there trying to bring forth what the scientist says. Because the stock assessment happens, it goes to the Science and Statistical Committee, then it goes to the council.
Yeah, but if you've been assigned to be the leader, you're the leader.
You can't. Roy Crabtree has, when he was there, he's retired now, but he had no control over who got appointed to the council. That's at Secretary of Commerce.
But you need to be setting shit. You need to be
Dude,
running.
he yelled multiple times at multiple council meetings. Where, like, you guys
I
are
don't
getting
care
off
about
base
the
here.
council meeting. I want shit to run uphill.
Yeah, I got you.
I want you to go get the shit up top because somebody's pushing Crabtree's button because he's appointed.
He's
We didn't vote for him.
appointed to the Southeast Regional
Right.
Office, but
So
he's
he's-
one of 17 voting members.
He's still
Everybody used to point their fingers at him, but he's one of 17 voting members that make that decision. There's 17 people.
And where'd the other 16 people come from?
They're you have to be nominated by your governor and then ultimately selected by Secretary of Commerce.
So they're all political.
Yeah, it's very
That's the
political.
problem.
Yeah, I mean, I told you what happened to me.
That's the problem. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Lots to talk about here. Let's take a couple calls as we roll into our second big segment of the morning. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Let's go to Captain. Let's go to Captain
dramatic
William
pause.
in Sarasota. You like that? That's what happens when you do radio for a long time. You learn those dramatic pauses, fire things up. Captain William, how are you? Hello?
You mean Captain Page?
Oh, I couldn't. I only saw Captain William in Sarasota. I didn't see the bottom line there says Page. Captain Page.
Probably shows up William Page on the phone, and your man in the glass just didn't know it was Captain Page.
It's okay. I got you now. I got you, dog. What's up, buddy? Captain Jeff Page.
I'm William Jeffrey Page. William Jeffrey Page.
I learned something
never
new.
go by Bill.
Just an old trout fisherman from Sarasota.
That's right. That's right. I'm headed over to Rockledge today
Oh, nice.
to work at the Boaters Exchange for Power Pole. They've got a big, like spring event over there, kind of like Miller's.
Yeah. I saw you were at Miller's again.
A lot of our friends will be there today, and it's blowing anyway.
Yeah, it's really howling here. Let me ask you a question. I know that you follow the bass scene probably as much, if not more, than anybody on the saltwater side that I know.
Right.
Our good friend Bobby Lane wins the Red Crest Cup. What does that mean for Bobby Lane?
Right.
That's like the new Bassmaster Classic, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's the quote new, but that is the classic of MLF.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty big. That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, huge. And you know how proud Mr. Lane must be, their dad?
You think?
They got Chris winning the classic. They got Bobby winning the Red Crest. And then they got the other son, Arnie. He's part of the series, too. All three boys are making a living catching bass.
Yeah, and doing well and very talented. And here's the other thing. They're great people. Bobby Lane is straight up one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I've met Chris a few times. He seems like a super guy. I know Bobby a little better, but just great. And everyone you talk to, we were sitting at the table at the Polk County CCA banquet at the captain's table Thursday night, and I was just talking about, how about Bobby Lane? And everybody knew him. Like they all talk to one another.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the whole Lane family in Polk County. That's how nice those people are. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
That's Polk County for you, son. That Polk County is the best, and I have to say, leadership is everything. When you got Grady Judd as your sheriff, you got a pretty good community.
Giddy up. Roger that. No doubt about it.
Hey, I heard Grady Judd was there.
He was there. Grady's always there. He does the prayer. We open with a prayer from Grady Judd. It's a beautiful thing.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. I saw a picture of Adam Miller from CCA with Grady.
Oh yeah, yep.
Don't you agree, Captain Page? They should lead the CCA Polk County banquet, like advertising with that. Like, oh, Grady Judd will be there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Come shake Grady's hand.
Exactly. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's a beautiful thing.
Anyway, so Dylan, when is the wind gonna lay down?
This week it's going to be a little nicer in the afternoon, still a little breezy through the weekend. But one great thing I was talking to Mike about on break is this upcoming weekend we were supposed to get a really hardened down front, and now the forecast is saying it's not going to quite make it here. So we're in that time of year where those fronts can either make it down or they stall just north of us. So hopefully more and more will stall just north of us, and that pattern will start shifting in our favor of nicer and nicer weather. So I think it's on the horizon.
All right, I just know that when they don't make it, the south kicks in about 15 mile an hour harder, and it's almost like, gosh darn, I would just wish it would have blown on through.
Yeah, I mean,
get those 3-4 days of south, and I mean everything goes to pure chocolate.
Yeah, when it stalls north of us and stays there, yeah, you're right. That pressure gradient gets going, but the one that's not quite making it this upcoming weekend now, at least in the forecast, hasn't moving on through. It doesn't stall. Luckily, this time of year, most of them don't stall because those pressure ridges get so strong. I mean, that's what's creating this nasty wind today is that front that blew through, 24 hours ago, 36 hours ago, it stalled just south of us. Yeah. So you're right. That does happen, but
I like the big words you use. UNCA both have very, very high-tech lingual.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
Jeffrey, we appreciate.
You said.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
Pressure radiant.
Pressure radiant.
I don't even know what pressure radiant means.
You're the man, brother. Hey, listen, we appreciate you chiming in, kid. Good luck on the water this week. Travel safe up there, and make sure you stay in touch with us, all right?
All right, I'll probably see you over there on that South Shore somewhere.
All right, I'll be there this week. It's all good. Thanks, brother.
I got a new 26 Pathfinder, big. You won't miss it.
I saw it. I saw your social media post there, kid. All right, buddy.
It's over at Power Pole now, getting all the goodies on it. It's gonna rock.
Nice.
Yeah, I hear you. You'll be able to run anywhere you want in any kind of wind in that battleship. You'll be good.
Yeah, just like Hagemans. You see Hagemans?
Oh yeah.
Whiskey wrap?
Yep.
That thing looks like it's 30 feet long.
Right. He don't fish anymore anyway. He only does Boca Grande. He's a big timer. He just runs a big boat.
Rides around in the pass, waving to people.
Exactly.
Shots fired.
He's a celebrity.
Tight lines, man.
See you, buddy. Old Captain Jeff Hageman. Let's get our freshwater report from our guru, Ron, out at Ron's Tackle Box in Lake Alfred. Ron, we were just talking about Bobby Lane and the Red Crest Cup and what that means to Bobby and the rest of Polk County there. It's a pretty exciting thing.
It's amazing. Let me tell you what, like you were saying, and I can verify, all them Lane fellas and Senior also, most wonderful people you ever knew.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've known them for about 25 years. They used to fish my little Thursday night tournaments way back, and they were so gracious and just very polite, great people, good sportsmen.
Yep.
And that's why they are like they are today.
Yeah, good things happen.
Awesome.
Good things happen to good people, and he's good people. I was telling the story at the Polk County banquet because everybody sitting at our table, at the captain's table there, knew Bobby and Chris and the whole Lane family. And I was at an ICAST, and I was headed to see my good friends over at Bob's Machine Shop. Bobby Lane and I are both parts of the pro staff there, and so I was just headed in just to say hello. And as I'm getting close to the booth, I'm looking in the booth, and I'm like, that's like Bobby Lane is sitting like. That's Bobby Lane. He's sitting in the booth having a conversation with Steve Polini. And as I'm getting closer, I said it to myself like 6 times. I'm like, dude, that's Bobby Lane. Like,
awesome.
I step in the booth. Bobby Lane looks at me. He jumps up and he goes, "Mike Anderson, I can't believe you're here. Real Animals. I love your show, dude." And I'm looking around. I'm like, "You're Bobby Lane." What? You're Bobby Lane. And we just became friends. And he's just the things he does out there in Polk County. His kids tournament. I was happy. Again, I don't know Chris as well. I was happy when Chris Lane won his Bassmaster Classic for sure, but I'm a little tighter with Bobby, and I was really, really excited to see, with your brother having a classic, it's nice that, Bobby got to win the Red Crest Cup and do all that. And his brother was very gracious on social media, super psyched for his brother. It was good to see. That's a big win, really big win.
That's awesome.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Like I say, wonderful people, well-deserving.
Yeah.
Worked hard.
No doubt.
Worked very hard.
No doubt. He's a hard-working guy, and he's good people, and good things happen to good people, and it shows right there for sure. How's the fishing, buddy?
Great. Fishing's great. Been a little windy out here, but there's a lot of places to get out of the wind. The lakes you want to stay out of are the shallow lakes. They're the ones that get rough. But we're doing real good. A lot of shellcracker, big bluegill. Bass fishing is really good. I guess after the spawn, they're on fire. So, got a couple guys standing here right now. They're ready to go out and get them big ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the big bass this week?
Been really good this last week.
Yeah. What was the big one?
Get out here.
What was your big fish for the week, Ron? Do you know?
8 pounds.
Another 8-pounder?
Right at 8 pounds. Yeah.
Steady.
Very nice.
So we get a lot of that size fish. 7-8 pound size is pretty common. When you push them 10s, 12s, that's what you want to watch for.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, everybody does.
Yes, please.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's like the 40-inch snook, 10-pound bass.
Yeah, that's right.
It is. Very similar. Yeah, very similar stuff. So, very interesting. And the panfish doing well still?
Yeah, the shellcracker and bluegill. They're on fire right now.
All right.
Really good.
All right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff.
Come on out and you can have a good time.
Tell everybody how they can find you out there.
All right, I'm at 380 South Lakeshore Way, which is 1792 in Lake Alfred. Phone number 863-956-4990.
You are the freshwater guru, and we appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you, guys. Have
Always
a good day.
Pleasure.
All right, Ronnie, you too, buddy. Have a great week. Good stuff right there for sure. It's funny
consistency. I love Ron.
When he says bluegill, I had to go back. I'm going back now to the Polk County banquet.
Polk.
I did say it right? Polk.
I don't know. I've heard it so many times this morning. It's
okay.
starting to run
So I'm
together.
going back to the Polk County CCA banquet, and you know what they had? They had last couple of years they've had just draft beer, which is not my favorite. I like bottle beer. It's a headache thing.
What?
I like bottle beer.
Over to draft beer?
Yeah. Draft beer.
You say that like everybody thinks that way. I don't agree.
No?
I love a draft beer over a bottle beer.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
a
and
nice
that's to each their
cold
own.
cup.
So anyway, let me finish my story. Come on. So anyway, listen, I'm going to get to the high-end part of this story, okay? I'm going to hit you with some high-end Polk County stuff right here.
Oh,
I've never heard of this
holding
before.
my breath for
and
this.
I'm waiting, and I know you're not that big a beer drinker, but so seriously, when Ron just said bluegill, it made me think of this. we walk in there, and my wife's like, God, I hope they don't just have draft beer because it gives her a headache. She likes bottle beer. So we walk in, and they got the aluminum cans of Bud Light, Budweiser, Mick Ultra, and what they affectionately call in Polk County a bluegill, Busch Latte.
Oh, there you go.
I have never heard of a beer called a latte, but they have Busch Latte in aluminum cans out there in Polk County.
Yes, sir.
I've never heard of that.
That's a thing.
See? And you know about it.
Oh, I knew about it,
But you like Busch Latte draft.
No, I mean, they only come one way. It's in those like camo orange colored cans now.
Actually, it was in a gray. It was in a gray can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in kind of a grayish can. I was just like Busch Latte.
Yeah, out on the boat, those go down pretty nice.
Yeah,
in the sun. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Nothing can beat a Busch Latte.
What makes it a latte?
It's just it churches it up. It's like Joe Dierte. Remember that movie?
I do.
He's trying to church up his last name. It's the same thing. It's like you're drinking Busch Light,
Joe
but
Dierte.
you can stick a pinky out and church it up and call it a latte. That's how that works.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Anyway, bluegills. The bluegills were flowing out there at the Polk County CCA banquet.
I believe that thoroughly.
A lot more to cover here this morning. Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back.
So Jason Richmond said bottled beer is better. I've never heard that. I mean, I'm not a huge beer enthusiast.
Yeah.
So I don't have a strong. I mean, I've always thought draft beer was better. Huh.
Not better for my head.
I guess there's more carbon dioxide. I mean, they have to inject that into a draft keg to get it to come out.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what boogers it up at.
Learn something new every day. Bottled beer is probably newer too. Nah, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know if
That holds true.
Yeah, I don't know if that holds true or not. But and trust me, I've drank plenty of draft beer.
I believe that.
No doubt. But as I aged and didn't need quite as many glasses out of one large pitcher at that low price,
Yeah.
I advanced in my financial setting a little bit. Bottled beer was the preference.
I got
Plus
you.
an ice cold bottled beer.
Yeah, I do like an ice cold bottle. All right,
But-
I get
but-
there. But if you get a frozen mug,
I was just going to say a frozen mug is pretty special too.
yeah,
There's no
frozen
doubt.
mug
I
for
do,
draft beer.
I do Angry Orchard after the gym on Friday nights at Beef O'Brady's.
Mm-hmm.
We order food to go home,
Yeah,
and I get a pretty cold mug with that.
yeah.
That's
While
pretty
you're
good.
waiting for your to-go food,
It's pretty
that's the
special.
way to do it.
Pretty special. And it makes me feel like I'm still doing something healthy because it's an apple beer.
Touche.
It's a fruit. I'm having a fruit
It's
serving.
got fruit in it.
I'm having a fruit serving.
It's got fruit in it.
It's got fruit in it. It got to be good for you. It's got fruit in it. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! What you gonna do? 7 a.m. We're fixing.
Mugginess forecast. It's starting to get muggy.
Oh yeah.
I love it. The humidity is back, baby.
We're fixing to launch show number 2, episode number 2 for season 16 of Real Animals TV starts in 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes.
Do we have Valley Sports in here?
WMOR.
Oh, do we have that in here?
I don't know. I used to have it up, which was nice, but I don't think you can get to the guide.
On my channel, on my TV.
Oh,
What station is
you're
that?
crazy. Channel 32 is what it is, but like it's not. They got the. It went
the
away.
Channels are all weird.
Yeah, they're all weird. There's no way to. Now you're screwed. Now you screwed it all up. Better go back down to 29. Oh, now you did it. Now you got nothing. That's why I never touch that shit. They screwed them up. Somebody came in here and changed freaking services or some crap, and it hadn't
So
worked.
they only show like certain things.
Yeah, it's terrible. Because I used to put it on just to get the extra viewership.
Well, we've got no TV now.
See, I don't want you. Glad you did that on your TV. Welcome back. 6:53 here. So I wonder if anybody else has noticed. I know a lot of the anglers here in the Bay Area also travel down to Charlotte Harbor, and I wonder if any of the anglers here have noticed what I noticed on Monday. A lot of really great fishing in Charlotte Harbor right now, and I do believe it's because they kept it closed.
So we've posed a lot of really good questions today about where do you want to see your gag grouper fishing season opened.
Right.
We've asked about Charlotte Harbor still being closed to snook and redfish and how you can see so many more fish down there, and whether or not you agree with that or want to see it closed here. Is draft beer better than bottled beer? There's been 3 really good questions posed. We'd love to hear from you.
What do you
and get your
think, Rob
input.
Roman? Do you drink beer, Captain?
I drink a lot of beer.
Okay,
There you go.
Well,
I've been a beer connoisseur since
connoisseur.
sir, from since like college.
Okay.
And I will say,
You look pretty young, so that was what, like last
that's
year?
nice of you.
Last year?
It's because I shaved. You know, I got a baby face. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that you are wrong.
You like
Which one
draft
of us?
beer better?
Draft is better.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
See, this is an argument.
It's a weird. I
think it's a discussion. It's beer. It's beer. It's all good.
Now I'll give my couple of cents on this just because I know a little bit of what's going on here. But like, I do know that there's a difference between a can and a bottle.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
I also know there's a difference between a bottle and a draft.
Right.
Now, through science, all right, through actual physical science, there's a difference in the colorization of the bottle as well as the amount of light that passes through the bottle that ruins the chemical shape of the beer itself. Probably the reason why you have the glass bottles like Corona on the beach probably ruins the chemical composition of the beer itself. As opposed to like the clear glass compared to like the brown or the green or the blue, which is like you got your Bud Light Platinums and stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
The light ruins the chemical composition.
That
of
stuff
the beer.
right there. That depth of knowledge is how you get the tag connoisseur.
Yeah.
So,
So I will say that
Connoisseur.
your bottled beer is probably a better refreshing taste than a draft that comes in a plastic cup that can get the light bouncing through all.
Plus, a draft warms up quicker, so I like draft.
Yeah,
because
with your
I
hand and-
drink real fast, and it goes down before it gets warm.
get to where you want
But
to go.
if you're babying it, a bottled glass beer would probably be better.
See, I don't think it tastes that much different. It's not the taste. Like if you go to a bar and you get a draft beer in a ice cold mug, that's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a taste. It's not, for me, it's not a taste issue. The issue is how I feel the next day if I have a couple too many. I can have a couple too many bottle beers and come out okay. If I have too many draft beers, I wake up with an extra headache.
Because you drink more of it. That's just volume, dog. A draft beer is a 16-ounce cup generally, or a 22-ounce cup, whereas a canned beers or a bottled beer is normally like 12 ounces.
16 ounces, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
think
think it's 16.
whatever. I know if I get poured a 16-ounce draft, it's like, that's kind of small. Most drafts are like
You want
solid cups.
grande.
I once had an argument
Vente.
with a student that we hosted for a foreign exchange program from Mexico, and he goes that Mexicans can outbeat Americans in drinking, and I'm just like, maybe if you drank a lot of the light beers like Corona, but if you come up here and you have an American lager like Budweiser or like Sam Adams, there's a difference. Like, you
big
can probably outdrink somebody by drinking 30 beers of Corona compared to like your 7 of Budweiser.
Have you ever been to Europe?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where were you in Europe?
I went to Ireland. I've been to England and France.
Holy moly, he's well traveled.
I don't know how the beer is there. I was stationed in Germany for 3.5 years at Spangdahlem Air Base, and you could drink all night long. Like, seriously, I tried it several times while I was there, all night long. And then wake up the next day, and you are tired because you did not sleep. You are not hungover.
Beer in a cask is something to try.
No preservatives.
It's
in
not
Germany,
it's not carbonated.
they don't have the preservatives. You get a beer, and then when you finish it, if you look through the bottle, you could see a date on the back side of the label, and that beer was brewed, whatever they do to it, magically make it appear, like 2 days earlier. In the States, you don't get a beer quite that fresh. I know we have Born on Dating and all that, but seriously, it tastes really, really good. The beer over there in Europe tastes
Well, you can
really,
get
really
fresh
good.
beer here.
No
You just got to
preservatives.
go for those local, we live in the mecca of craft
Breweries,
beer.
yeah.
I mean,
got
this
you.
is
And you say in the breweries, those beers are brewed fresh.
fresher.
So you're getting them? How do you know that?
Logic.
You're guessing?
Logic.
You're guessing. You know what? This is now I'm tying together the whole reason that he's all these National Marine Fishery meetings. That's what they do at the National Marine Fishery meetings.
Estimation.
Yeah, they do a lot of guessing up there. That was my problem with Roy Crabtree. He was always guessing instead of knowing exactly what was going on.
It's called data imputation.
Manipulation is what I call it. Data manipulation.
I want someone from Green Bench, Big Storm. Someone call here and prove me right.
You could be. You might be right. I don't know that you're not right. You know you're right. You're guessing you're right.
Maybe more beer talk on the other side, right?
Maybe
fishing and beer.
Now he's wrapping up the show for us. He does it all.
He's talented, that captain. We'll be back 970 WFLA.
You are gonna want me.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animal.
No, it's got to be newer. What do you mean?
Why?
Why would it not be? It's got to be newer. You're at the brewery. Why are they going to serve you older beer?
Well, there might be a certain. It's still got preservatives in it. I'll bet, right? I mean, there's got to be some reason.
Like they don't change the process.
No, I think the process is probably changes from brewery to brewery a little bit. But I'm talking about what they have to, by law, put in the beer here in the United States.
Oh, I get you.
As far as preservatives, because what if that beer does sit for a week, and then it gets somebody sick? I'm telling you, you know how we're going to think about it. That's what I would think. Mm-hmm. And in Europe, they drink us at 13 years old, so they know that stuff ain't going to sit because they start drinking young. I don't know. I'm just saying, over there, the kicker was you could drink a lot of beer all night long and wake up without a hangover because there's no preservatives in the beer. So, because
Ooh, Donald Waberman's on my side. Draft is better.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Donald and Luch are fired.
Kyle Hopwood said draft is better.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's good. Okay.
We've got 2 drafts is better, 1 bottle is better. I wish as many people agreed with me about how Waffle House sucks.
Waffle House does not suck. That's the problem. The house, my Saturday morning shirt. My Saturday morning going to church shirt. Church of the people. Waffle House. I still think if we could get them as a sponsor, you would change your mind.
Probably not.
You would.
Dude, another great example. Yesterday went to breakfast. Don't get to go to breakfast much, but went to breakfast. I went to the mom and pop place on the beach. It was called The Reef. Absolutely insane.
There's a really good breakfast place right over here on, what road is that going to be? That's going to be Himes, I think. It's Himes. Yeah, it used to be called something, some kind of pig. It was just a dive. Phenomenal, though.
I love the dive diners.
Beth and I went to see, we used to go there for lunch every now and then and get breakfast. And we were like, well, I wonder what's up with that. And we drove by there, and it's been totally renamed, totally remodeled, and it's dynamite. Like dynamite. That's excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hitting
Spinach and
that.
feta and smoked sausage omelet.
Ooh.
And they have...
Can't get that at Waffle House.
They have grits with bacon, onions, and chives.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was really good.
Yeah, this place had all sorts of grits yesterday. It was awesome. They had these bowls where it was grits, scrambled eggs, and then assorted meats and cheeses.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty stellar. But, yeah, I was hitting that Peruvian little food truck on the way home from here Saturday mornings. But, like, the last 3 weeks, we've been going to Mama's Kitchen on Seminole Boulevard. Ooh. That was like a little diner, but now it's just, they just absolutely kill it in there. There's always a line out the door. It's a Greek family, but it is stellar food. And they have lunch, and I think they even do dinner, but they have a killer breakfast. Now I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm. That looks killer, like a cool museum.
I don't have that station over here. I've got double CNNs.
That's painful.
and a static screen because I touched the screen, touched the remote. Jim Demmel has a great answer. The best beer is cold and free.
I wonder why we aren't getting more pushback on doing nothing in the Ukraine. Why is it that nobody says we should get our ass in there?
Dude, I want to know why this. I mean, how many wars have occurred in the last 15 years in countries that got no political coverage, no news coverage? Yet this particular conflict has been so widely.
It's because it's Russia.
Yeah, it's a world power.
Because it's Russia. World power or what? Seriously. Because they got a lot of shit, not because they're actually a bunch of badasses. They're a bunch of pansy asses. Dude, that dude's a pansy ass. Putin's a pansy ass. And we should be kicking his ass. It's ridiculous. Biden just sitting on his freaking hands.
All right.
Loser. Gutless loser.
Oh, man.
And the rest of the UN,
you know how many phone calls I got yesterday?
You're losers, too. The whole UN, all you guys are gutless losers.
Because
scumbags.
They're letting them stomp all over Ukraine.
It's ridiculous. I've never seen like it. Oh, look at the atrocities going on. Why don't you take your happy ass in there and fix that shit? Put me in charge for a week. That bitch will be over. Put a grenade up Putin's
You know how many Facebook pages we're live to? Come on, man.
I don't care. I don't care. You have options.
But your sponsors might.
Well, I guarantee you my sponsors don't want people in Ukraine getting killed for no reason. I guarantee it. Write it down.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, guaranteed. I'm not talking something crazy here. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous.
Oh, there's our warning, so we know we're back.
Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina. Hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
I feel like it's pretty obvious what a smart guy that Chris Sektig is. You know, the GM here, iHeart Tampa.
Why iHeart doesn't stream the commercial breaks?
No, why?
Is that why? He is very smart for that.
No, but he puts that disclaimer out there that, you know, whatever it is comes out of our mouth, they're not tied to it.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Although
it's very wise.
You're the good one. You're like, this is like good cop, bad cop. Because Dylan's over here and he's got to be correct. He's got a lot of friends in important places. He's
Dude,
he's going to go hang out with a bunch of bigwigs and then have cocktails.
It's not so much that.
Rub shoulders with him, and he's got to be nice. Otherwise, I get it. Listen, I get it. I respect your ability to pull that off. Because I would have grabbed Roy Crabtree by the back of the head and pounced him off the bar.
All right, guys. The man has been retired for more than a year.
He did damage.
Let him rest.
Major damage while he was in there. He accomplished nothing. Zero things got accomplished.
Red Snapper got rebuilt under his regime.
Clown. 100% clown. Gutless clown. Wouldn't even look me in the eye.
And
Interviewed him on the radio. Wouldn't even look me in the eye. Gutless clown. 100%. Seriously.
I'm not saying anything more because I'm not getting anywhere.
See? But
I've learned my lesson.
He can't. He's got to be smart, which I respect that. I love that about you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's it relates back to what people get angry about fishing organizations. Like, for example, certain issues come up. There's multiple ways you can handle it. You can scream and yell and grab your pitchforks and your torches and take to the streets and scream and yell to anybody who will listen. Or you can work behind the scenes and try to create inroads and work with partners and work with people that you might not be partners with all the time on other issues, but on these issues your interests align and you're able to work together behind the scenes, and you can sometimes be very political or very effective both ways.
I 110% agree.
And to me, you have to walk that line.
I agree with you, and I think it's awesome. That's why I chose you to come in here and partner with me, because I really do. I respect the way that you just hold back and don't grab someone by the throat and choke them out. That is beautiful.
Yeah, what you think about what you say can be two totally different things.
I 110% do not have that gene. It was never built into me. I don't have it. I don't. I wish I did.
Yeah, when you deal with the peoples, I mean, you deal with a lot of peoples, but when you deal with the volume of upset guests, you learn. I've learned at a very young age, when someone's screaming, spitting mad in your face, if you react, it just makes things worse. You just gotta.
Not if they go to sleep. Not
You
if they go to sleep.
You can't own and operate a business choking your customers out, Mike.
You can if you you have cameras. You got to take the camera.
That's my problem.
Yes, you got to take
the
cameras out of the situation. That's why it's your word against his word. He touched you first, and then he went to sleep. There's ways around this stuff, bro. Rob,
book your charter today with real animals.
Yeah, are you guys okay? I just kind of like went to the opposite side of the room, and now I'm back.
We're peachy, bro. It's
okay.
It's all good. Let's go to the phones here. Let's check in with William and Crystal. Is that animosity again? Let's check in with William and Crystal River. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Captains. How we doing?
We're good.
Doing good, man.
Good. I wanted to make sure that with this gag grouper stuff, I can't explain how the fish can morph itself from a female to a male, but I thought that was built into their species. So was this brought up, or we're trying to give Mother Nature a push, or when they already have an effective means of creating males if needed, why are we having so much closure? So explain to me how they're working that science in there.
So basically what it boils down to is there's a lot of species of fish that transition. Snook do it. Snook transition to female at larger size, whereas gag grouper, for example, will transition to male. And those males live out primarily in deeper water, and they're very, very kind of apex dominant species, and they will call a rock a home, and they will hang out there. And they're generally, you find those big, what we call rusty belly gags, where they get that black on their belly. You find those generally in 150, 200, 250, even 350 foot of water. They're generally much deeper. But in today's world, where a lot more people are fishing a lot deeper, you're getting more pressure on those male gags, and that is the concern. And that has been realized in the science that in I think it was 70, somewhere in the 70s, early 80s, they did a stock assessment, and there was like 25 to 30% of the gags that were collected and used as samples were male, whereas the most recent science that was done by FWRI, by some of the most respected offshore charter captains in our area, fishing in closed sanctuaries, they're only realizing about 5 to 6% of gag grouper to be male. And then in other areas, as low as 2% of gag groupers that were surveyed were male. So we're seeing a huge decrease in the number of male gags, and that, in my opinion, is because of fishing pressure. Because, yes, you're right, the fish do have a way to kind of compensate and become male. If, like, for example, if there's an area where there's a bunch of females and there's that one big dominant male and he gets harvested, yes, one of the bigger females can then transition. But that transition takes a lot of time. It's not one of those things that they can just turn on a light switch. It takes, I don't know how long.
I wanted to make sure it was factored in and that it was talked about and not snowed over.
No.
I'm a bottle or can over draft. I just, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I just think the draft beer is watered down.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just my opinion. Now, I caught the show with Captain Branch up here in Crystal River.
Brandon Branch, yep.
Were your shoulders really hurting from those gags? Because it looked like they were putting a pound in on.
Let me tell you what, dude. Every time I do that shallow water grouper fishing, I get in the truck at the end of the day, and I'm like, good God, am I sore? Yeah. I mean, it's they hit. Like when people say it feels like you've been hit by a freight train, that's what happens, because you're reeling across that rock pile with that plug at a pretty good rate. And when they stop it, buddy, they stop it. Like, it's not a joke. You know, a 25 to 30 inch gag in 8 foot of water. It's
I
crazy.
Still hold to the fact that in shallower water, they're more aggressive and they fight harder.
I agree. I've never seen anything like it, especially that particular episode. I've done it a couple times, had great bites. Clay Scheidler and I did a show up there, Hang 'em High Sport Fishing. He's phenomenal. But that show with Brandon Branch was one of the funnest I've ever done. The very first,
you got some shoulders on you, bud.
the very first thing we did was fish a rock pile in 5 foot of water, and he pulled a 30-inch gag off like first or second cast in 5 foot of water. That estuary is insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Next time you hear these words, I hope you're saying them. Fish on, and thanks for being there.
You bet. Thanks, buddy. Good stuff right there.
And that's what we talked about at this recent meeting with Ed, my buddy Ed, who fishes up there. I mean, he used to go up in that area. The Clay Scheidlers who grew up there.
Yeah,
I'm sure Brandon Branch is the same way.
Up there, yep.
They back 10, 15, 20 years ago, you'd be out there and you wouldn't see a boat. And it was like the gag grouper mecca. And you're like, whoa, do people know about this? I hope no one knows about this. But nowadays, you go up there during November, December, when those gags are coming to a close, everybody and their brother. I was talking to someone from Johns Pass that took his 27-foot bay boat and runs all the way up the coast, all the way up there, 40-some-odd miles,
for sure,
50-some-odd miles to fish that shallow water gag fishing.
In the 12 to 13 years I've been fishing up there, maybe 12, it's amazing how many more boats there are.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And now the Veterans goes all the way through.
Yep. A lot more people
right into
up there.
Crystal River. There's a lot, and again, it still has that old Florida feel still, but it's changing.
Yeah,
and it's changing, and the fishery's changing. You look at C.A. Richardson, who literally left St. Pete to go up there and be away from everything, and he's even having to bob and weave and stay away from some of the busier boat ramp areas to find fish he can catch on artificial on an everyday basis.
Where is he going
changing.
next?
Yeah.
We're going to follow CA.
Yeah, Cedar Key, Steenhatchee. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's go to Dale, who has been very patient this morning. Dale, in Tampa, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, just a quick question. It might be a dumb question because I don't fish enough to really stay up on all the rules and stuff.
No dumb questions.
You know, when I do go fishing, I do, make sure I check up on everything. But about a month ago, I was watching Fox 13 News, and they came out and was like, they're going to open it up for Goliath grouper season or whatever, and you can get a tag and this and that. And when they said what the slot was, I started scratching my head thinking, did they make a mistake, or is this really true? Or, because the slot was like 22 to 28 inches, and I thought maybe they made a typo, or maybe they purposely did that so nobody would catch one. Because, I mean, I never even seen a Goliath grouper that small before.
Yeah, so that's not a mistake. You are correct. It's a very small slot size at a very low level. And the reason why is politics and the fishery process in general. It's an open, transparent process that anybody can be a part of. And this FWC Goliath grouper opening has been in the works for a long time. That is one reason why we got to be really careful with these fisheries, because when you close a fishery like they did with Goliath grouper, they closed it the year before I was born in 1990, and they haven't fished it since. And when you close a fishery, you lose fisheries dependent science. All that information about catch per unit effort, which is how much effort you have to put out there to catch one of those units of fish, and the landings information and all that good data that they get from fishermen. It's the easiest to get, it's the cheapest to get, and it's a big tenet of how they do stock assessments and how they evaluate the health of a stock. When you lose that information, it's impossible to open up the fishery based in science. You have to do these subjective things and these unique processes. Like right now, this opening of Goliath groupers.
Like listen to the fishermen who are out there every day?
Exactly. Well, that's one tenet of it, but there's also other stakeholders involved, like environmental groups. There's the
environmental groups shouldn't have a stake in anything.
Let me finish. That's a stakeholder. It's a stakeholder. But also the dive groups. The dive groups, when it comes to Goliath grouper, they don't want the fishermen who are out there every day talking about how Goliath grouper are a problem. They don't want it open because they can take their dive groups out there and go watch them and pet them, and they're best friends. And the average person. I mean, at the recent FWC meeting I was at, the one woman has a pet Goliath grouper under her dock that she feeds all the time, and she didn't want to see that Goliath killed. So she's up there crying, don't open Goliath grouper. So, I mean, there's a lot of interest in there. And without science, you can't say this fishery should be open because of this reason. It's subjective. There's
if that
opinions.
lady's your neighbor, you should catch that fish.
And there's opinions involved. And that's why it got down to that small slot size, is because they've just been trying for 10 years to open up this fishery to a limited harvest. This opening is 200 fish statewide. It is not an opening, in my opinion. It's a very small step, and it's the right step in the right direction. And they had to do that small slot limit to just get it moving forward.
Dale, we appreciate you hanging on there, brother. That's a great phone call.
Hey, you guys have a great show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
You very much.
Thanks
Dale.
for calling.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a great phone call right there. We've got Ray, who's been on hold a long time. We've got Captain Jim Fogel, Safe Boating Tip of the Week, all that stuff coming up here on the other side. We appreciate everybody hanging with us. We'll be back talking more fishing, 970 WFLA.
Man, that was a 10-minute answer. That was a 10-minute answer in a 2-minute time slot. A minute and a half time slot. That's the problem with Goliath groupers. Is too many people got involved. Too many people wanted to put their 2 cents in there. And then the scientists gummed up. The reason we have such a small slot limit is the scientists. You can't kill a 600-pound Goliath. There's too much mercury in the meat. You don't know how much mercury's been in the meat because you haven't killed one since prior to the 90s. And they started talking about the FDA, and they wanted the FDA to come give rulings about what size fish could be eaten, and they were worried about mercury advisories. If the FWC said, all right, you can go out there and kill Goliath grouper over 60 inches, and then someone brought in a 500-pound Goliath, ate it, and died, the FWC would be liable. So today's society and the worries over liability is part of the reason that slot limit is so small. Yeah, it's just too many people got into too many different aspects of it, and they overcomplicated it. It's like anything. They overthink the process because they're trying to do it right. But it's a great first step. Some people aren't happy about the slot limit. Some people aren't happy it opens. Some people are happy they didn't close certain areas to harvest. But it's a step in the right direction. We got some fish coming in. We got some fish. The fishery will be open. There will be fishery-dependent science coming in. We'll have a better picture of what the biomass is. And then we'll have some science to stand on and say, listen, this fishery is healthy. We need more fish. Or, hey, this fishery isn't healthy. Close it down. If a fishery is closed because of science and some good science that you can get your fingers in and understand and grasp and believe in, I'm okay with it. But listening to fishermen on the water is a problem too, because if you talk to 10 different fishermen, you're going to get 10 different opinions. You can't get consensus out of the daily fishermen on, I mean, even in Tampa Bay, on whether the snook or redfish should be closed or not. I mean, that was the most contentious thing that I stayed so far away from. You talk to 30 different charter captains, you get 30 different responses. Jason Richmond said, Anderson's turning into Mahoney, telling people to go catch their neighbor's pet grouper. And that's what she was saying is, I guess someone was threatening her. Like, I guess she had named it. I forget what the name was. But she was like, yeah, my pet Goliath, Harry, or whatever it was. And someone told me they're going to come catch and kill Harry. And I can't believe you're going to let that happen. Oh, that's funny.
I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah. Robert Riggs, Ted Peters smoked fish is still around, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Still there. The tenant. Still good smoked fish.
I'm going to have to be real careful moving forward here if people are starting to accuse me of being like Mahoney.
You need to clean up your act.
Yeah. Wow. My bad, dog. Didn't realize I had crossed over quite that far. I knew I was chirping on the line a little bit, but God. Welcome back. Got a couple of calls here I want to try to get in quick. We got a short segment here. Let's go to Ray quick in St. Pete. Ray, thanks for hanging with us, brother. How are you? What you got for us?
Hey, good guys. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Bonefish and Tarpon Trust financed a study on bonefish down in Biscayne Bay and Upper Keys, and they tested 93 bonefish. The average fish had 7 drugs in it. One fish had 17 pharmaceuticals in it. And it turns out our sewer plants can't separate the pharmaceuticals from the waste, and it's flooding all the waters down there and I guess everywhere. And they also found that the finfish, the crabs, and the shrimp that the bonefish were eating also were full of drugs. So nice. I just couldn't believe that. And then, Mike, you talk about why there aren't, there's so many more members in the NRA than CCA.
Yeah.
It finally dawned on me that nobody's ever made me register a fishing rod. Nobody's ever threatened to take my fishing rods away from me.
Well, yeah.
They have.
Yeah,
They
actually,
have.
I was going to say, I don't know if that part's true. They're working on it. That's the scary part. That's the part that I can't figure out why we're not more involved. When you have some of these clowns that are in charge of some of these agencies trying to shut these fisheries down for no reason.
The best example is what's happening on the Skyway Fishing Pier with the Pelicans and the groups. If you go on the Friends with Pelicans Facebook page and read some of the comments, they want to shut fishing down. They want to knock that pier down and not let anybody out there but the
that's
birds.
PETA. That's all PETA, because the word PETA and the PETA organizations got such a bad rap that they just started infiltrating Save the Manatee and all these other organizations. That's all one agenda. All those markers on Tampa Bay that keep you way off the shoreline, that's not about the manatee. I went to the meetings. How come? Let me ask you this: if it's actually about manatees, you can go buy $180,000 boat. But you don't have to wear polarized sunglasses.
You want to hear?
There's no law on polarized sunglasses, and when you bring it up to those losers, they don't want to talk about that because that's not their agenda. They don't care about the stinking manatee. They care that you don't fish. That's their whole goal.
Well, you want to hear something crazy? Is I got a call from the Department of Environmental Protection, Florida.
I love those people.
Yeah, this is a federal agency, and they were basically telling me that they were getting complaints about our vessels going too close to mangrove islands.
Your vessels.
Yes, and they said, well, you have to be more than 50 yards away from those mangrove islands where there's a bird roosting, or you could cause that bird to leave its nest. And I was like, listen, bro, we've been doing the dolphin watching trips since the late 50s. Like, our family's been cruising by this bird nesting islands at clutch ahead speed, as quiet as possible, for literally half a century. And you're telling me that now it's an issue? And I was so confused. And this is a new regulation. They're trying to keep boats more than 50 yards away from mangrove shorelines. Go ahead.
Here's my problem. 45 years ago, my favorite thing was to sit in the surf line at Egmont and eat coquinas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to take the grandkids out there in the boat. Now, this is years ago.
Please don't do that
I
nowadays.
anchor off and we swim in, and here comes a guy on a four-wheeler. He says, you guys got to leave. You're scaring the birds. You're scaring the birds? I said, sir, I've been out here for 50 years. I never scared one bird in my life. What are you doing on that four-wheeler? And the guy looks at me like I'm the idiot. So we're never going to win. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why we got to thin the herd. All right, my friend. Good job, Ray. Good call, brother.
Have a great day, guys.
You too, buddy. We appreciate you.
Did you just say thin
I
the herd?
didn't say anything. You have to roll the tape. Roll the tape. That's all I can say. We're going to get to Jim Fogle here on the other side because we got to give. He does such a great job with our safe boating tips. We got to give him his due. And then we've got Captain Frank.
Oh, there you
Hubbard's
go.
Marina checking in as well. And yeah, I don't.
Can't believe you snuck that in there like no one was going to hear.
I don't know what you're talking about. Did you hear anything, Rob?
He put his headphones on because he knew that he was going to have to interject.
He did not.
I'm always the third chair of this conversation. You're like, no, I didn't say anything, Rob. What did you do?
I just asked if you heard.
What, didn't you have a fancy word of the day, a dictionary word of the day?
Don't bring that up again. Apparently, it's pressure gradient.
Well, what about his shirt? Oh yeah, Waffle House. We haven't mentioned Waffle House yet either.
Yeah, we did. We did on break.
I didn't have to.
Yeah.
You brought it up.
About how
it
it sucks.
I don't have to say it. Whatever.
I brought it up on break.
I disagree. I think it's yummy.
Actually, I heard yesterday. I was like, we keep complaining about. There's two of us in this building that don't like Waffle House. You like Waffle House, and I had a friend last night that said, if we don't like Waffle House, it's because we went to the wrong Waffle House.
I agree.
I think they're all the wrong Waffle House.
I think you're.
I'm not sure. I gotta have to debunk that myth.
I don't think you get out enough.
I don't even know what to say to that. You don't get it out enough. That's why you don't like Waffle House. Okay.
You have a house full of young children. You don't get out enough. That's the way it works. We got, again, our safe boating tip. Captain Jim Fogel, Captain Frank from Hubbard's Marina. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back.
People who know me out there, I mean, you guys know I'm never at a loss for words, but Saturday mornings, for some reason, I get at a loss for words more often than not.
Justin Moore just texted me 1 mile of 20-foot high mangrove shoreline leveled, permitted by FDEP.
Yep. So you can take out mangroves, but if your boat gets within 50 yards of a mangrove, you're killing the seabirds.
I love me some Justin Moore.
That's the problem. Is we're that, like I said about Alabama, they take a mile of shoreline and they make it a state park where you can't develop it or touch it. And that's what's keeping their area pristine and their bays pristine.
Over there Jensen Beach and all them areas where they put in a frickin', you can only go 2 stories up. They don't let them put all them frickin' big ass buildings over there and all them frickin'
I don't know about 2 stories. That seems a little heinous. Maybe 4 or 5 stories. Some smart growth plans. You gotta be able to grow. We are the #1 tourist destination. We had 100.
But that means come and visit and get the hell out. It doesn't mean come and stay. That means come and visit and take your.
You can come and stay, but we need to do something in such a way to where you have to contribute. Like, all right, if you come here, you're going to have an impact on the environment. You're going to want to build a home. You're going to want to take away green space. You're going to want to build a seawall. So you should then have to put an artificial reef under your dock. You should then have to install an artificial turf lawn so you're not watering it and fertilizing your yard. You should then have to pay some sort of credit towards everybody who moves down here paying towards reinforcing the sewage infrastructure via added toilets.
Impact.
Impact fee, environmental impact.
You know why they don't want to do that?
Because it would impede the number of people moving here.
No, because the minute you say impact fee, you lose voters. That's why the politicians won't do it, because they're busy lining their pockets. And they know that they'll get voted out of office the minute the impact fee comes out of their mouth. That's why the shit don't get straightened out. That's why the politicians don't do the shit they're supposed to do. Because it's hard, votes. Because there's hard line stuff you have to do that people aren't going to enjoy. The screw-ups of the past have to be corrected, and everybody pays for that.
I stayed out of politics all day long, but that sounds like a good argument for term limits.
For sure, 100%. Shouldn't even be an argument. Yeah. I haven't met a single person yet who doesn't believe in term limits, yet it never shows up on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Wonder why? Because they're crooked. That's why. Because the thieves don't want you to kick them out of their little office where they're stealing from you.
Oh, my goodness. You know how many phone calls I got yesterday because someone on a guest on YouTube, so our YouTube channel, we film our 39-hour trips and then post them to YouTube. Someone made a political comment, and I got probably 10 really negative comments. Keep politics out of the fishing trips. And one guy saying, I'm never fishing with Hubbard's Marina again. You lost a guest. And I got 2 voicemails about how terrible the video was because of one political comment. Like 20 seconds out of a 15-minute video. And it was one political comment. And like the cancel culture came out in force. And comments and threatening voicemails. And it's like, what in the world?
I would love to get a threatening voicemail. That'd be great.
I'm glad the show's on early.
I'll know where that number came from, and I will find you.
I have a special set of skills.
That's right. We will tunnel you under your house and suck you out of your bed while you sleep and beat you in your front yard. Your neighbors will wake up and find you.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. I'm going to have to stop streaming the show to our Facebook page.
Beaten and bludgeoned and laying face down in your front yard. And when they ask you what happened, you'll say, I screwed up.
I commented on the Real Animals Fishing Show. That's what happened, officer.
And I took a keister beating. So
and again, fun. Speechless.
We just want the right listeners.
We don't want a lot.
It's just entertainment.
We don't want to reach everybody. We just want the right ones.
Yeah, it's just entertainment. Not meant to hurt anyone.
We need our own warning.
We do.
WFLA can have theirs, and then we can play our own.
Right. If you're easily offended, you should immediately turn the channel. There's a chance that we're going to offend you. Well, actually,
don't say we're.
Dylan's not.
Don't say we're.
Dylan won't, but I will. And I'm okay with that. If for some reason you don't like my comments, there's probably a good chance you and I won't be friends anyway. So it's all good.
Thanks, Jason Richmond. He said, good show today.
We're probably never going to do dinner, okay? And I'm okay with that. If you do agree with my comments, let's get together and have a bottle of beer.
Mike Perry said, Mike Anderson woke up today and said, today's the day I speak out and push every one of Dylan's buttons.
I don't think. Am I pushing your buttons? I don't think so.
No buttons have been pushed. Just a lot of concerns have been raised.
Did I partner with the right guy here? This might not be good for business.
What am I doing here?
Right. I could have slept in.
What's Title 42?
I don't know.
That's a concerning thing, man. Is there's just so many different ways. Like the council process, I find to be so important to be involved with. But then, like this whole clean water bill that the Captains for Clean Water were fighting so hard to get out so vocally. It's like, all right, these things are going on in the Congress, in the federal Congress, or the House, or the state House, or the state Congress, and it's like, how do you follow up? How do you follow everything?
Yeah.
It's impossible. We're back, dude. Mike.
Can I just say that I got a text from our good friend Justin Moore there at the break, and it's funny because we were just talking about the mangroves and 1 mile of 20-foot high mangrove shoreline leveling is permitted by the FDEP, so the Federal Department of Environmental Protection, who, by the way, boogered up Piney Point for us. God bless you, you losers. They tell you they're going to call Dylan and say your boats are too close to the islands, but we're going to permit taking out a mile of mangrove shoreline in Sarasota Bay.
And it's also like the thing that one of the bills along with SB 2508 that we talked about on the show that Chris Whitman from Captains for Clean Water called in about. One of the other bills that was potentially going through the state Senate and the state House was a bill about seagrass relocation. So if you want to come in and build this big development project, but it's going to harm this seagrass bed, you can pay money to destroy that seagrass bed, but then replant it somewhere else. Well, if you're replanting it somewhere else that doesn't have seagrass, it doesn't have seagrass for a reason, because it wasn't conducive to having seagrass.
Either that or it was there and we killed it.
Yeah. So it's like, why would you take a perfectly healthy seagrass bed and allow it to be destroyed?
It depends on who wants to build. If the person that wants to build there has a lot of money and they write a check to the right politician.
The bill failed,
I'm
thankfully.
just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They write a check to the right politician, then they get stuff pushed through that they want. Let's go to the phones.
Speechless.
Let's check in with Jim Fogle, who has been extremely patient this morning and hopefully still loves us. He gives us our safe boating tip of the week. He is with the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, and he is the man. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm great, Captain Mike.
Good.
And Captain Diplomat. I've given
Captain Diplomat. Oh,
low blow.
Rob's covered his eyes.
We both did.
That's going miles. We are going to use that forever. You're the best, Jim Fogle.
All right. Hey, I heard a good story this week about ditch bags. I'm always talking about them, and I'm always stressing the fact that they really need to float. All right, so sometime during the last year, 4 guys were fishing down in the Keys, and their boat took on water, and it sunk right under them. I mean, just almost like my buddy and I's boat, just within minutes, the boat was down. Well, it rolled over. They didn't have life jackets. They didn't have anything. But anyway, they're floating around there, trying to figure out what they're going to do, and all of a sudden, evidently the door to the center console opened up underwater, and the ditch bag popped out.
Nice.
So the guy was able to set off his PLB. Yeah. More reason why you need to keep those things super handy. At the slightest problem, get those life jackets and that ditch bag out. This is also kind of neat. Since they didn't have their life jackets out, they're kind of sweating how long they're going to be able to float. And here come the bean bags. The bean bags popped up. Nice. They had been on the deck. They were the waterproof ones like a lot of us have. And so they were able to hang on the bean bags or lay on them even until rescue got there.
Wow.
So
that would make me feel better. Being on a bean bag.
Lucky guys, yeah.
Yeah, talk about some good luck.
Yeah. Right.
Not being prepared, all of a sudden your bean bags float up next to your ditch bag.
Yeah. Good Lord. The good Lord was looking out for them.
You went from
like our cooler floated up with the beer in it.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Bottle beer.
Not that
kind of No. Then you got to worry about opening it. No, you don't want bottle beer because you got too much trouble opening it.
True.
That could be.
We'd find a way.
Damn, we don't have an opener.
I know.
Twist tops.
Yeah, so anyway, guys, if you don't have a ditch bag, you need to get one if you're going offshore or out at night. You definitely need one. We're not planning on ditching, but if we have to, we want to have that personal locator beacon. We want to have that portable VHF marine radio. We want to have a knife, a serrated knife in there. We want to have a signal mirror and a whistle, a couple of strobe lights, and an extra set. Pardon me?
Bottle opening?
Yeah, bottle opener.
That was the moral of this call.
Ruth even put a wine bottle opener in my
corkscrew in there. Nice.
Smart woman.
Yeah, nice. Very smart.
All right. So anyway, guys, appreciate the time. I know you're getting close there, so appreciate the time. And for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete, it's Jim Fogle. Be safe out there.
You're a good American. Thank you, my friend. Good stuff. He puts up with us. I know he just does. He's like, he
was left speechless too.
I gotta call the clowns. Let me call them clowns over there on WFLA. Let's check in quick with Captain Frank from Hubbard's Marina. Frank, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Man.
You got some dirt for us on old Captain Diplomat over here?
Oh, I hope this isn't
that was
a
good one. That one. I'll go ahead and make sure all the guys know about that.
That's a beautiful. I was like, Rob Roman put his hands over his eyes
the
immediately.
worst possible caller. Literally the worst possible caller.
I can see it. I can see it happening right now. But I know why. I know why you guys have been talking about beer and birds and Waffle House, because we can't get out there and go fishing.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Wind's been blowing.
It's been just a really tough situation, to get out there. And when we do, we're just like, we're just barely making it out. So it's made for a difficult. I can't even imagine, for the small boat guys, like, I don't even know if they could have gotten out 2 times in the last 3 weeks. It's
been tough. There's been some guys doing it. What you got to do is you got to pick your areas.
Mm-hmm.
Down around O'Neill's there, some of the guys have been running their trips. I was a little surprised. I was working on delivering my old boat, getting my new boat this week. So I was at the marina, and I was a little surprised. Some of the guys that came in, Jim Pollard, Brett Norris, Julio Lima, some of the guys ran some trips, Dave Marquette. And they were able to catch some fish, but you just got to be really smart. You got to put it in at the right place. You got to fish the right shorelines. A lot of times you're going to buy bait versus going to get it.
Good.
Yeah, the fishing's been real good. It's just the weather has not been working with us for sure.
And the kingfish, holy moly, loaded up out there at the mackerel and the kingfish.
Nobody can go play with them.
Yeah.
It's so windy.
I mean,
yeah. Well, the good thing about those is we're actually getting them inside of the sea buoy at John's Pass. I mean, come on, that's close.
That is close.
Yeah,
that's as close as you can get them. You probably catch them off the Johns Pass Bridge, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Especially in the early morning.
I've seen people catch them there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them hoisting up a 30, 40-pound kingfish up to that bridge with one of those grappling hooks.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hard outbound tide, you can get that bait floating out there far enough, as long as the bait or a boat doesn't run over your line. That's
good.
the trick.
That's right.
That's good stuff, Frank. Good stuff. Good call, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, I know you guys are getting. It had to be a quick one today, so I'll let you guys get back to it. But maybe next week we'll have a little bit more, fishing talk.
Sounds good.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully we'll be able to get out there this week.
Here's to hoping. We appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Frank.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right.
See you, man.
Captain Frank there from beautiful Hubbard's Marina, John's Pass. Let's check in with Rich on the South Shore. Rich, what's on your mind?
Hey, as long as we're naming and shaming politicians, I want to play.
Come on, buddy. You got the floor.
Your buddy, your boy DeSantis is getting ready to sign Senate Bill 2508, dealing with the water down in South Florida.
Yep.
They say they made some changes to it, this, that, and the other. But any bill that came in the slime ball matter that one did needs to be thrown out. So we need to talk to Mr. DeSantis about vetoing that.
Well, the
if he hadn't already signed it, I don't think he has.
Yeah, but the problem with that is it's impossible because the way that bill was introduced, it was introduced in a committee as a part of the state's budget. So if he vetoes that bill, he has to veto the entire budget, and the state of Florida's government shuts down. We don't have a budget. We can't move forward.
That's how slime ball that was.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what they were doing. That's why they did it that way. That's why we need term limits, because you got to get them scumbags out of office.
Everybody involved knew what was going on
up
there. And they say they forced him, but they got nothing wrong with throwing out entire voting district things just before the just before the election. They're going to screw it up. There were things that could have been done, and DeSantis could have vetoed it. He never got on a soapbox about it. He said, "Oh, I don't like that, but I have to do it." But he'll get on a soapbox about anything else. So if we're going to get on politicians, wait till the next time those algae blooms come up on the coast. And we'll see what happens then.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Like I said, I want them all. I want them all out. I don't like any of them. So you're not offending me at all. You light them up. Thanks, brother.
All right. See you.
All right. Not offending me one bit. Don't like none of them. Let's check in with Mike.
Speechless.
Mike Mesra from Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. Michael, how are you?
Hey guys. Captains, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy? Let's talk guns now.
Yeah,
Everybody's all fired up. Let's
up.
talk firearms.
I know. You guys got everybody riled up over freaking DeSantis and everything going on. I'm like, get ready to end it. Let's talk guns. We've got the Hillsborough Hillsborough Fire Museum shoot today, Academy of the Farms up in Pasco County there this afternoon. Weather's been beautiful. It dumped on us on Thursday, but yeah, everything's going great. We're adding in some courses, doing a bunch of work for this summer. So we've got a bunch of great ideas coming across us now. So anyway, we're looking forward to a great summer and just spending time with everybody.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah. Good deal. There's for those of you that have never done it,
you're missing out.
Yeah, shooting sporting clays is just absolutely incredible. You get out there, especially at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays, the way it's all set up out in the woods. It's like a golf course almost. I mean, it's peaceful. It's
you
relaxing.
get the golf cart.
You do. You get the golf cart, and
it has shotgun racks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Have you guys been out since the road got redone?
No, but I heard Ben Marshall.
So you haven't.
Ben called me. He didn't even say hello. He literally called me and he went, "They paved the road at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays." Like he didn't. I'm like, "Hello, Ben."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah,
we're stepping up, brother. We're like the Jeffersons. We're moving up." Hey, so I wanted to tell you a fishing story. Last week I went to Venice for the first time. Never done that before. First day, hammered the tuna offshore, flat calm, because I can't do that real rough stuff. I mean, not rough stuff. So it was perfect. And then the next day, inshore, limited on reds, which I've never done up there. And it was epic.
Venice, Louisiana is a special place.
It's a very special place, and unfortunately, it's not what it was 15 or 20 years ago, and it's still epic. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's still off the charts.
Yes.
All right, guys,
for
I'll
sure.
let you go. Thank you for the time. Have a great weekend. Talk to y'all soon.
Mike Messer, thank you, brother.
Guys.
Appreciate
Good
it.
human right there. Tampa Bay Sporting Clays, mytbsc.com.
I can't believe that we went a whole 2-hour show plugging the 2 hot topics that we talked about, with the gag grouper potentially only being open for a month or 2 or less next year, and your comments about Charlotte Harbor. No one wanted to call about that.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
That's
Good
pretty
question.
crazy.
I don't know.
Maybe we got a bunch of golfers.
I know if you need a new roof or a roof repair, I know who you're supposed to call. You're supposed to call our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Over 30 years of experience and roofing knowledge to help you with this important process, whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or a flat roof. Affordable Roofing Systems is your safest choice. Give them a call today for your free estimate at 1-888-397-ROOF or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. With the rains we had the other day, boy, if your roof's leaking, get yourself in trouble this time of year. Hire the best. Affordable Roofing Systems is where you need to go. We'll be back wrapping things up on the other side, 970 WFLA.
Segue. Dude, we haven't talked about the events at all.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't plugged April 19th.
Yeah.
Next week we're not going to be here.
Did you see how he did that?
I saw it. That's what I just said to him.
That's radio gold. Page.
That's how it's done, dog.
It's like trying to figure out how to do transitions. I'm like, there you go.
You know what I know? My friends. That was good.
Yep. Oh, my God. I got sniped yesterday at Lowell's Axle Trailers.
You got sniped?
Dude, I literally stepped off this piece of wood and stepped onto the gravel, and there was a rock there like this.
Oh, right.
And I went down like somebody shot me, and I landed right on my knee.
Oh, that stinks. Not at any age. You're as big as we are. You don't want to fall. You don't. Big tree fall hard. Oh, weather is looking better this week. Going to be breezy in the morning, calming down in the afternoons, and that is because of a pressure gradient. Well, I thought that was kind of. I didn't realize that was technical, but basically we have this big low pressure that's stalled north of us, and it's sitting there. And we've got this high pressure pushing down. So when the high pressure is pushing against the low, that creates what's called a pressure gradient. When 2 opposing pressure ridges are fighting over our area, that's why we get increased winds. And then as that high pressure settles in, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be breezier in the morning. Or actually, no, Thursday it starts calming down a little bit. But Monday through Wednesday, it's going to be breezier in the morning and calming down in the afternoon because of the difference in temperature. The high pressure, we get that east wind, so we get a lot of that wind over the state, and it'll calm down in the afternoons as things warm up. So definitely focus on those afternoon bites if you got to go out into open water. If you can fish wind-protected shorelines like I've said on our Friday Fox 13 news segments, the beaches would be good areas to target because on the beach with an east wind, if you're fishing the troughs for some of those early season snook out on the beaches, the pompano, the whiting, you got a shot. Back, Real Animals, Saturday morning, right here on News Radio WFLA. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, and we haven't really had time to chat about it this morning. One of the big things we have coming up that you don't want to miss out on is our April 19th event. April 19th, we're going to be out there at Bartow Ford talking fishing. Myself, Mike Mahoney, Capt. Mike Anderson. We're going to have Silver Ring Cafe out there. We're going to have Silver Ring Cafe out there. We're going to have the stuffed crabs, the sandwiches, the pizza, and Real Animal swag, Hubbard's Marina swag.
Ingle Cooler swag, Bull Bay Rod swag.
It's going to be bad to the bone. It was a lot of fun.
Live one. Yeah, it's going to be a live one. And we really appreciate Bartow Ford obviously supporting us here on Saturday mornings, having us out there for an event. Now, this one, we're going to start at 6 o'clock. So this one's going to be 6 to 8. So we need you to try to get there a little earlier. They're closed at 7 usually, so we're trying to get them out of there a little earlier than we did on the last one and see how it goes. So definitely come on out and see us. It's going to be a big time. It always is. You know, Mahoney's worth the trip just himself.
What will he say?
Yeah.
What will he say?
Yeah.
That's my big question.
But I will tell you this, too. You know, Mahoney does a lot of that clowning around and that, you know.
But he's very intelligent.
I mean, that's a fishy cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fishy cat. I mean, you know, trolling for gags.
He knows a lot about offshore
He does a lot of.
fishing.
He really does. He's a very, very good angler. He's been doing it a long time. He gets a lot of dirt from the people that come into his store and have been coming into the Team Mahoney Company for 75 years almost now. So I mean, it's pretty special.
Yeah, and he's good about asking you questions without asking you questions and getting that information out of you.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
He plays the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's an outdoorsy cat. Deer hunting, alligator hunting, inshore fishing, offshore fishing. That's what Mike's done his whole life. So to have him up there with somebody like Dylan, who's as good offshore as you are, I think it's going to make for a great offshore seminar. So if you have interest at all in offshore fishing, I would not miss the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation, April 19th. And that's right after Easter, right? Easter Sunday.
Yep, the 17th.
The 17th.
And then on the 24th, we've got our Bass Pro Shops Fishing Conversation, 2 p.m. at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops as well. We're giving away a free 5-hour half day for 2, 10-hour all day for 2. So going to be a good time there as well. So we got a lot of events coming up. Plus, you got the Real Animals Kids Classic too, right?
The Real Animals Classic Fishing Tournament's April 29th. That's going on. We just sold out.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that with help from Ring Power and Skanska. Both those organizations stepped up really, really big, along with many, many others. So that's going to be a super event.
When you say sold out, you mean there's no more team openings, but there's still plenty of time to come into like the weigh-in?
Yeah, you could come, and you could come to the after party. Actually, I'm not sure you can. Probably can't.
Oh, okay.
There's only so much food.
Oh, well, you had me at party. You lost me at there's not enough food.
But what we do have also going on, because you mentioned kids. I mean, we're doing our Real Animals Classic that benefits the Children's Home of Tampa. Frank Massaro, great organization out there, doing many things. And again, a bunch of people stepped up to really make that a cool event this year. It's our first year we've done it. We're going to do it many, many times, hopefully here year after year. Especially, like I said, with the great help we've gotten from Ring Power and Skanska. Chuck Jablon at Skanska is a special cat. He just brought a pile of boats in to help us, and next year will even be bigger, so that'll be special. But we also have the Real Animals Junior Pro Staff, which we just put up the notification on social media last week that team has been set in place. We're bigger this year than we were last year. I want to thank all the kids, the parents, that everybody that applied. We are super excited about this team. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a summer tournament again, and the winner, actually the 18th, I'm filming a show here on Tampa Bay with Captain Mike Goodwine, and we are going to take Camden Galileo, who is last year's Real Animals Junior Pro Staff Tournament winner.
Awesome.
He is going to join us on that episode of Real Animals TV, and we are going to do that again this summer. We're going to have a summer tournament with lots of goodies to give away, Bull Bay rods, Ingle coolers, all that good stuff. We do our little party out there at Gator Jim's Fish and Tackle. And
awesome place.
Yeah, so we're going to do all that again, and one lucky angler will win a chance to be on Real Animals TV for season 17.
Awesome. That's really
cool. Yeah, kind of cool. So season 16 is out now. I think last week's show will be available on Waypoint TV later today, so you can go to waypointtv.com.
There we
you can
go.
watch all your favorite fishing shows for free over there. Are you doing your show Sunday night now this
Yes.
week? Okay, this week you're back on?
Back on.
All
It's
right.
every Sunday night, unless I'm traveling for a Gulf of Mexico
So
Fishery Management
I'll call in again just about 10 to 9, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, please.
We'll call in. We're gonna make that a regular segment.
Yep. Tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., we give away a free 10-hour all-day for 2 guests, a free 5-hour half-day for 2 guests, and a 39-hour fishing trip for 1 guest. Over $800 in free trips for an hour of putting up with me. It's not that bad. And now Mike Anderson, too.
You do, but you do a good job. That's why they only see. You know what he did there? He knows 2 hours of me might be too much, so he gives me like a little segment, like just a little piece. I get it. I see you working.
Yeah.
That's a smart business choice.
After all morning Saturday, I just gotta regulate
Only so
it a
much I
little
can
bit.
take. I get it.
If it's short, it keeps you focused on fishing. None of the Waffle House stuff comes out, and no political threats. So we're good.
For the record, I want it out there, everyone to hear us say it. It has been a pleasure. We love you, Captain Rob Roman. Good job, buddy.
Yep.
We appreciate all you've done for us, my friend.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Good
Gonna
stuff.
miss you, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
I hope so. I'm going to miss you too.
It's good stuff. He's kept us sane over here, keeps us in check. Whenever he puts his hand on his forehead or covers his eyes, I'm like, okay, maybe we went too far. It's good. It's good.
Someone has to keep us grounded.
Yes, they do. Again, small craft advisory today. If you're headed for the water, please be careful, boat smart, be safe, tight lines. Have a great weekend.
And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
You too darn busy. Tight lines, everybody. We're out.
The preceding program was paid for by Real.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music radio.
Somebody shut us off.
No.
We usually have a little
a closeout.
back and forth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A little back and forth. Again, small craft advisory, so be careful. Fishing should be good this week if we can get out there and do our gig.
I just kicked the table.
Yeah.
Real hard.
I don't need to do that. My knee already hurts.
Yeah. No, it's going to be nicer, I think, towards the end of the week. Going to be a little breezy each morning. Really, I don't know. This weather is very frustrating for us offshore folks, but you can find some wind-protected shorelines inshore. And hopefully this trend that we see this week of that cold front not quite making it down, hopefully that holds true and hangs on, because we're about over those cold fronts in this windy period. But right now, looking ahead, Thursday, Friday, looks like we have some calm winds finally. So the second half of this upcoming week is going to be really good fishing, because we're right on the front of that full moon. We got a full moon coming up a week from today, Saturday. So right before that full moon, water's moving, a lot of bait's moving, and fish are hungry, especially as that high pressure recedes. So Thursday, Friday, I would call out of work sick for sure.
No, don't do that.
What? Don't do that?
No.
Go fishing.
No.
All right, whatever. I would do it anyway. But
All right,
definitely going
all
to
right,
be good
all right.
fishing Thursday. And especially, I would say Thursday was looking really, really great, because they were forecasting that front to make it down Friday. So you were not only going to be on the front side of the full moon, but the front side of that front. The front's not going to make it down now, but it's still going to be kind of affecting the area Friday a little bit, especially Friday afternoon, as it pushes closer and that pressure ridge that we talked about earlier grows a little bit. So I would say Thursday, in my opinion, especially for you near shore and offshore folks, Thursday is the day to go fishing this week. That's my prediction. Putting it out there. You going fishing Thursday?
Nope.
No?
Thursday's the only day I'm off.
Well, you're missing out. You should call off work.
I'm going to go hit softballs Thursday.
Oh, there you go. He's going to be in the softball field. All right, guys.
We'll be back out there Friday. I've got 33 boats running Friday for a big tournament for
nice.
For Hillsborough Education Foundation. Yeah, Hillsborough Education Foundation. Actually,
Doing work with your favorite
42
county,
boats.
huh?
42 boats, yeah. Listen,
They have
they're not
great
my favorite
leadership.
county, but great leadership. But the Education Foundation tries to do really good things, so we're going to help raise some money.
There you go.
We're out
Friday's
there.
weather looks good, too.
We're out there in the community trying to do our part. We really are.
It's not all beer, firearms, and
mostly it is
political
but not
rants.
All of it. Yeah, no, we try to get out there and do our part. It's just entertainment, like Mahoney says. It's just entertainment. We don't really want to beat those people up.
Well, with that, no better way to end the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. We're going to be...
Hopefully we're not banned.
Yeah.
We're not
Hopefully
banned.
we'll be back.
Yeah. You'll want to check it out next week, too, for sure, because it'll be a good show.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Too darn busy.